Toasters, and welcome to today's video. So today I will be ranking every single Animal Jam Classic land, all 13 of them, and yes, I will be including the Waterlands. As someone who started playing Animal Jam again recently, I think it's worth it to take a look at what all the Animal Jam lands have to offer and rank them, whether that's stores, aesthetics, or activities. And for a disclaimer, these are just my opinions. You can disagree with them in the comments, and then feel free to tell me your own opinions. At number 13, unfortunately, we have Deep Blue. So, we know the underwater lands are already at a disadvantage, but Deep Blue, in my opinion, it's the worst one. There's basically no scenery there to make the land visually appealing, and there are a few stores to add something to the land, but I don't really find myself ever going there for that reason. Also, what the stores do sell, well, it sucks. 4 diamond animal statues that you can only use underwater. I barely have any underwater items to display in the first place. So, for the lack of scenery and good stores / activities, Deep Blue is unfortunately at number 13. For number 12, we have Canny Cove, another underwater land. Canny Cove, as I stated previously, underwater lands are already at a disadvantage, as there isn't as many animals, clothing items, and excitement surrounding them. And with this, Canny Cove is another pretty boring land with not much to offer besides the shop, with the items that you can already get from the den decorating menu. There's also a little diamond shop with 12 den items, but 4 of them are claws. And as with the Deep Blue, the scenery isn't exciting either, with a sunken ship and a few plants. But there is a few pros to Canny Cove. I love the little plants you can drag your mouse over and they move. And the coloring is beautiful. It fits the ocean theme perfectly. But unfortunately, this isn't enough to make me want to come here. With number 11, we have our first non-ocean land with Arendelle. So for starters, this land is very small, so it makes it harder to appreciate compared to some of the larger lands. This land has always just kind of been there for me. I only go there when a rare item Monday happens to be in the hat shop. Like Deep Blue, there are a few shops, but I never find myself going there to buy anything. There are a few things I do like about this land that put it over the previous two. I love the pet stop, maybe not to buy things, but the theming is so adorable with the trees and pets lining the staircase. I am also a big fan of the mud pit. I mean, who isn't? Who doesn't love a good mud pit? And lastly, unlike the ocean lands, the space in this land is great for trading parties, and when they do happen to pop up here, I enjoy myself. And for the scenery, it's fine. Nothing I find too exciting. I like the plain perspective with the back half of the land, seeing everything in the distance, but overall, the coloring just isn't my favorite. At number 10, we have Bahari Bay. What mostly puts this land above the other 2 ocean ones and Arendelle is the size and the store offerings. Like the other ocean ones, it's hard to rank this one higher when no one is ever here, and there aren't many things to do with this land, but there is a nice little clothing shop with some diamond offerings. There's also the clothes presented in the shop and the changing menu. Unfortunately, there are only 4 clothing diamond items at the underwater store, so it isn't that much more exciting. One of the better things about Bahari Bay is the theming. The ocean life and plants are so much more appealing than what is in the other 2 waterlands. Also, the variety of color is amazing. But There is one other ocean land that surpasses Bahari Bay aesthetic-wise. Next, for number 9, we have Kinbarra Outback. This land has one of my favorite specialty places, with Gabby's Animal Hospital, which puts the land higher up for me. Who hasn't used the hospital for a fun Animal Jam roleplay before? I remember when the place used to be crowded with people pretending to be sick patients and doctors. Those were the days. But with the rest of the other parts of Kinbarra Outback, I like the aesthetic more than Appendale, but it still isn't my favorite. The waterfall gets huge bonus points, especially with the land animals going behind it, which is pretty cool. Kinbarra Outback has also an okay store. I appreciate that they offer different things to the normal menu store and have seasonal items. Unfortunately, I don't like the aesthetic as much as the lands above this one, and there isn't that much to do. This one might be a bit surprising, but for number 8 we have Coral Canyons. As with Kinbarra Outback, I absolutely love the waterfall and effects that come with it, and this land has a lot more to offer than the lands in the previous slots, with the Wild Explorers Tent, the Royal Ridge Shop, the Art Studio, and Epic Wonders. The stores all have unique offerings, with Epic Wonders having a lot of seasonal offerings. There's a space to view some of the dens you can buy, which is always nice, and aesthetic-wise the land is okay. The coloring is similar to Appendale and Kinbarra Outback, but with better textures in my opinion. I really like the water, as I said, but I don't really think this land deserves the hype it gets, being usually the second most crowded behind Jamal Township. I think there's another land that deserves the spot, which we'll get to later, but this land is fine. I really like Epic Wonders, but besides that, it isn't too exciting for me. For number 7, we have Belush, the newest land. I unfortunately didn't play Animal Jam during the time this land was put in, but I remember watching conspiracy videos before it was announced, theorizing what might be put there. It was exciting. Now that this land is here, I think the game developers did a fantastic job with the design of Belush. The aesthetic is a lot different compared to any of the Animal Jam's previously built lands. The water is beautiful, and the darker tone makes you feel like you're in a swamp or some kind of forgotten place, which is amazing. The places in Belush aren't bad either. Neither one of them offer much, with Ancient Antiquities only having 6 items, and the shops inside of the Temple of the Ancients okay, with some armor and more den items. But again, neither one of them have too much. While I do like the aesthetics of this land, there isn't a lot of space or places like Jamal Township to be social with other jammers, and there aren't any fun places for roleplaying either, which is why Belush is at number 7. At number 6, we have maybe an insane choice, but Crystal Reef. I know it's an underwater land and not super amazing, but I absolutely adore the coloring and feel so much joy going there. The biggest problem with Crystal Reef is definitely lack of, well, anything except a pet stop. But I do really like the pet stop. All the colors and the clear work of the designers put into the nature and fish swimming around has to be recognized. I think this could be a great place for jammers to get together. If only people went underwater, right? For number 5, we have one of my friend's least favorite lands, the Lost Temple of Zeus. I honestly don't have that much to say about this land, as I don't have very strong opinions about it. I like the aesthetic and the vibe. I like the mystery around it with the lore relating to Zeus. The theming is unique, maybe a little too similar to Belush, but not having too many similarities. There's a few things to do with some educational places within Brady Barris' lab and the Chamber of Knowledge, but there aren't too many places to shop. I think this could be a great place for role-playing and advertising, although I've never really seen any of those things happen. Anyway, on to number 4. number 4, we have Crystal Sands. This might be an unpopular opinion, or nostalgia being crazy, but I love Crystal Sands. It is so fun to just hang out, go down the slides, play in the water, put on a fun little beach outfit, and roleplay. Don't even get me started with the Juice Hut. I love the Juice Hut. The amount of times in my roleplays back in the day, we'd have little beach trips, the highlight of my life, honestly. The color of Crystal Sands is also so pretty. The yellow they picked is so pleasing, and I just adore it. But while I do love this land, there isn't too much to do, and there aren't any stores. For education, there's Tyranny's Aquarium, which I don't dislike, but I never go into. And the Juice Hut unfortunately doesn't have any shops, which makes the land less visited. But I think we as a community need to hang out more in Crystal Sands and just appreciate it. In the number 3 slot, this might be another unpopular opinion, but Mount Chevere. I am also a big stan of Mount Chevere. This land didn't have much of an impact on me with role-playing wise, but I have so many memories coming here and trying to break the ice. Or hanging out in the Hot Cocoa Hut, which is like the Juice Hut, but, in my opinion, better. And it has a store! The aesthetic of Mount Chevere is also great, unlike any other land, and having great scenery. I also love the slide. Another maybe stranger reason why I like Mount Chevere is the Animal Jam conspiracy theories that came out of it back in the day. But similar to Crystal Sands, there isn't as much going on as there is with our top 2 lands. But I think we all need to appreciate Mount Chevere more, and the Hot Cocoa Hut more. Just please go visit it. I love the Hot Cocoa Hut so much. Just missing the mark at number 2, we have Jamaw Township. With all this land has to offer, in good conscience, I couldn't put it any lower. There's 5 stores, with 2 of them being in-menu stores, but the theming that goes into these stores is still amazing. There's a diamond shop, which is constantly refreshed with new items, the Alpha headquarters with full armor sets, and the Soul Arcade shop, which I love the space-themed den items offered, as well as being able to buy all of the games. For other places in Jamaw Township, there's the Pillow Room, and who doesn't have a funny story or nostalgic moments with the Pillow Room? There's Club Geos, which is always a good time, and the Little Jammer Central board, which is heavily underrated. But the one reason I can't put this land at number 1 is the aesthetic, which is fine. I like how it's always changing with the seasons, but I do think there's one land that beats it. At number 1, we have Serapia Forest. This land is so underutilized. This land deserves the love Coral Canyons gets. I said it. It has the perfect space for advertising and role-playing down at the bottom, yet no one does anymore. The theming is amazing, and the stores and activities are so much fun. Like the movie theater where you can get popcorn, such a good time. The Hall of Animals is heavily underrated with 3 individual shops inside. I also love the outdoor shops with the topiaries and nature items. I think we as an Animal Jam community need to bring back how crowded Serapia Forest used to be and the love it used to receive. Also, as with Crystal Sands, I love the slides and all the different levels in the land. Oh my gosh! It actually feels like you're moving up rather than just staying on a flat surface. And lastly, I haven't mentioned any of this before, but I love the scavenger hunt book items. They're fire. Like the skunks and the little marks on the trees. I mean, for all these reasons, Serapia Forest is my number 1 pick. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and just remember, these are just my opinions. Feel free to disagree and state your own opinions in the comments below. And have a rosy day.